welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Omodesola. If you are new here, kindly hit the subscribe button. To my returning subscribers, please don't forget to always share. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the comments. Thank you so much for always stopping by. So today we're talking about executive summary. So we're going to be learning executive summary in 10 minutes. Now I have a long video on executive summary, but then this particular class, we'll just be looking at executive summary in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes. All right. So let's quickly run into the video. All right. So today we're talking about what is executive summary, the number of pages it should be, content, and then I will really just show you a little bit of practical example. Not really like deep. If you want deep practical example, you can just watch that video where I explain explicitly. So this video is just like a short video, right? All right, so let's quickly dive in. So, what is executive summary? So, executive summary is a summary of the entire report. So, here you're supposed to summarize the entire report, like the entire case study report, from the beginning to the end. If you wrote 50 pages, if you have 20, 30, 40 pages, 10 pages, as many as you have to summarize everything in that executive summary. And it is called the executive summary because it's the summary prepared for the executives of the company. And these people, they don't have time to be engaged in reading. In fact, they are engaged in so many activities already. So they don't have time to actually read lengthy reports of 20, 30, 40 pages. They don't have that time. So these guys, these executives in that sense, these big bosses, they need you to just like gather everything together and just put it in a summary so that they can actually know everything that is going on in the company. So in this case, you have to brush up your summarization skills, yes, because you have to strike a balance between being detailed and also summarizing in that sense because they have to know everything going on in the company. So you have to brush up your summarization skills so that you have to so that you would successfully give a beautiful and well drafted executive summary. Now, how many pages should the executive summary be? Now, the executive summary should not be more than 2 pages. The highest is 2 pages. That's it. 2 pages. Finished. So it should not be more than 2 pages. Although in some cases, in fact, do you even know in some cases it's usually 1 page. But then ICAN case study, it should not be more than 2 pages. 2 pages is the max. Like 2 pages is just the max. So it should not be more than 2 pages. And everything must be summarized there from the beginning of your report to the end. So now we know we have two types of reports basically. I have a video on that. You can just check that in your free time. But basically, we have two types of report: the external report and the internal report. So in this particular video, I'll be giving you a summary on how to write the executive summary of the external report and that of the internal report as well. So the first thing is that what you have a heading. So you write the heading, and the heading will be like this. Or you have executive summary like this. You can write it in capital letters. You can write it sentence case, as the case may be, but underline it as well. So you have the heading executive summary. So that's the first thing that you have in your book. The next thing you have is your scope, the scope of what you are doing. And I also gave an acronym here. I have a book, synopsis of case study. You can actually send me a DM to get a copy as well. I also explained executive summary deeply there, but in this particular short minutes video, we're going to be using an acronym OMA, OMA. So OMA is the scope. So after you have written your heading, your executive summary heading, the next thing you go into is the scope. So the scope, the first thing is the O. The O is what the objectives. So you state the objectives of your report. The objectives. State the objectives. State the objective. Okay, what do you aim to achieve? And this objective simply is the requirement. Okay, requirement one asks you to do a detailed evaluation of the financial statement. Requirement two asks you to evaluate the project. So you do what? You summarize the requirements basically. That's the objectives. The second one is what the methodologies. What are the methods that you use? Did you use net present value, payback period? What did you use basically? So you also talk about that as well. Then after that, you go to the assumption, which also covers your skepticism. That's what are you skeptical about? What are the reservations that you had? You also talk about it there. Now, reservation, skepticism, assumptions. You can have something like this. It was assumed that there will be no significant difference between the audited financial statement and the unaudited financial statement. Because now you are skeptical about the reservation and skepticism is just saying what you are skeptical about. Hey, this audited financial statement, obviously, audited financial statements in most cases is usually different from the unaudited financial statement because during the audit period, the auditors could have given the management some information that management to do this, adjust this, do that, adjust that, and eventually the audited financial statement may be different. The significantly sometimes or not significantly in that sense different from the unaudited financial statement. So that's an assumption. So if you are giving unaudited financial statement and then you are making assumptions or you are concluding based on that unaudited financial statement, you actually have to state it there. The assumptions. I'm skeptical. Oh, a major concern was that blah blah blah. A major concern was that dash dash dash. A major assumption was that dash dash dash. So you have to also state it there as well. So the OMA is what the objectives, the methodologies, and then the assumptions and skepticism. You have to state it. You have to state it there. Then after that, you move to the body of the report. This is where you have your financial analysis, your financial statements, financial data, and strategic analysis. We talk about it there as well. You summarize it there. Then afterwards, you move to the conclusions. Now the conclusions are also, you have in the main body of the report, you have conclusions as well. So you just summarize the conclusions there, and then you give your recommendations. Your recommendations should be in bullet points. Now your conclusions can be done separately. That you can have conclusion requirement one, recommendation requirement one under a heading. Now under another heading again, conclusion requirement two, recommendation requirement two, you can have it separately. But the thing is that you have to manage that 2 pages, right? So anything you are doing, whether you're doing it conclusion together, both requirement one and two, recommendation together, both requirement one and two, or separately, you have to ensure that you manage your space. That's just what's important. So the next thing is what the internal report is also very, very similar to that of the external report, basically. So unlike the external reports, you can just follow these steps. So the first one is that you also have your heading, right? If you are doing an internal report, you have your heading, executive summary. Then also you can also follow the OMA in this case for the scope. You can follow the OMA, that's the objectives, then your methodologies, your assumption and skepticism. You can do that. And if you don't want to do that, you can actually talk about the year that was considered and the purpose of the report. Something like this. The report provides information about the evaluation of the management account from 2008 2010. So now you have talked about both the purpose and you have also talked about the year in consideration, the year considering. So after you do the heading and you do the scope, then you move to the body of the report where you have your financial statement analysis, financial data, whatever they was asked of you or required of you. Then you summarize your conclusions as well, and then you have your recommendations. So the conclusion and recommendation, just like the external reports, can also be done jointly or it can be done separately as the case may be. So basically, that's all about executive summary. So your executive summary is summary. So it's the summary of everything that we have looked at in this case now is that we have so the practical examples in that sense because of the this is just a 10 minutes video to just show you the example or the summary. You can check that out on my channel. The video on the full video on executive summary I actually did two practical examples, one for internal, one for external reports. Just look at that video. So this is just a summary just to let you know what executive summary is about. So executive summary to draft it, you have your heading, then you have your scope. You can use the acronym OMA, objectives, methodologies, then assumptions and skepticism. And after that, you move to the body of the report and your conclusions and your recommendations as well. So all of this will just give you your 20 marks. Basically, that's all you just need to get 20 marks in your executive summary. So that's just basically all about it. And like I said, practical examples are in the full video. You can watch that and learn. All right, so if you learned a lot, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, comment, share, turn on your notification bell for new updates, and I'll see you in my next class. Bye.